Hi all, this is Waldemar. Welcome to this training session. So today I'm going to be training 100 chess exercises from the Chessable course 1001 Chess Exercises for Beginners, published by New in Chess. So this will not be a challenge of some kind where I have to do it in a minimum amount of time. No, it's just going to be a training session. I'm going to do 100 and just think out loud and see how we can solve all those puzzles. So the first problem presented here for me is problem 601, and the final one will be number 700. So here we go. Let's see how we will do. Mate in 2, it says white to play. Mate in 2. Okay. I think it's this one, check. And then queen e7 is checkmate. If you would have taken there with the bishop, it would have been queen g7 checkmate. Okay, so next lesson. So far we're doing fine. Zugzwang, white to play. I think the problem is if you play a7, he takes that with the bishop. Then of course we're not sure if we can win that position with rook against bishop. It should be a draw, of course. Okay, but how to go from here? Zugzwang, what is the idea? I also have rook b3 check. Then he has to go king a7, right? Then I suppose, well, this one is tricky. It's definitely not one for beginners. So rook b3 check, king a7. Then I want to try rook b7 check. He has to go king a8. And then something like, let's say king c8 attacks the bishop. So that bishop would have to go along the diagonal. But then I don't really see it. I just don't see it. I might also just go a7, bishop a7, and then embarrass his king, with king c8, and then he has to let go of the bishop. Okay, so I think that was just barely in time. King c8, because now the king cannot keep protecting the bishop. Okay, here we go. They're not easy. Cutting of the king here, white to move. So if they say cutting of the king, I like these little hints. They mean, of course, the e5 escape square. So the king will be in a box if I play f4, and I think that should be the first move to play here. And now all we have to figure out is just a checkmate, and that should be knight d2 is checkmate. Okay, here we go. A fork in hiding. Okay, that's a nice one. I'll just lure the king over here so that the king is in the f-file, and therefore the f7 pawn is pinned and I win the queen. That's very nice. Decoy sacrifice. Morphy's mate. Ah yeah, okay. Well, we all know that one from the opera game. So providing myself access to the d8 square by luring away the knight. Quiz. White to play. White to play, and there is no defense basically. Aha. So what we want to do is of course take the rook, but it's not yet possible because the bishop is defending the rook, so we can eliminate that defender by means of check. And now we can just take the rook and be up a piece. Then the long diagonal. Yes, the long diagonal. Ah, the knight on f7 is pinned. Okay, so we take on f4. That's a piece. So he has to recapture, otherwise he's just down a piece. But that opens up the long diagonal. Then, of course, we play bishop h8, and he cannot take that because the knight is pinned. He cannot also not take it with the king, because the bishop on h8 will be protected by the queen on b2. And since the knight can also not move away since it's pinned, there will be no lateral defense from the queen towards g7. So this should be the correct move. And then Bishop goes here. Yeah, that is correct. A crucial defender goes. Well, I mean, the knight is defending the rook, right? So what I would like to do is take the knight, and then of course if he takes that, then I can take the rook on e8, and that will lead to a mate. But if he does not excuse me, if he does not play like that, then of course I can take the queen on d4. For instance, if queen f6, rook takes rook, then queen takes queen. And last but not least, also if queen takes knight and queen takes queen, then again I can take on e8. So this is also very nice. White sees something simple here. Yeah, okay. I can just set up a fork here. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Material gain. So we want to take the bishop, but the queen is still protecting the bishop, so we have to try somehow chase away the queen from the defense of the bishop. And now we have a double attack on queen and bishop. Closing a diagonal. White to play. This is interesting. Well, the idea of the diagonal is of course that if we check on the back rank, bishop f8 is always a defense. So we have to try and stop the bishop from coming to f8, and I think we can do that by means of bishop d6, which also, by the way, hits then the rook on d3, because for that moment the rook on d3 is not protected. And if you take the bishop on d6 with either rook, then this diagonal is closed, and then a rook e8 will lead to mate. Also, if you give a check on d1, that is covered, so I think that should just be it. And if you play h6 something, then I can just simply take on d3. That's the whole idea. Wait, I have to be careful. Because if I take on d3 now, okay, he checks me on h2, I take that, rook takes queen, and still it's rook e8 checkmate. Okay, so I think this should be fine, yeah. Now they don't indicate that, but that was kind of tricky. I'm not sure if I can no longer execute those moves. Bishop h2, king h2, rook takes queen, rook e8, queen f8, rook f8, checkmate. That was the final line that I saw there. A basic back rank mate. Okay, well then we have to lure again the bishop away from the defense of the e8 square. This is also something we learn in Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess, where basically the whole book is about back rank mates. It's a very interesting way to study the theme. One square less for the king. One square less for the king. It looks like a mate somehow, right? But where's the mate actually coming from? Yeah, this is just incredible. This is absolutely incredible that this is checkmate. Such a beautiful double bishop mate. Look at that. There's no interpositioning. The king has no escape squares and the bishop cannot be taken. Just lovely. Get rid of the defender. Well, who's defending what then? Okay, we want to promote the pawn. But a7 was still protected by the knight, and now that pawn cannot be stopped. Very nice. Okay, so we did 14 puzzles so far. I think we're doing fine. This looks like a very famous Anastasia mate or something. But how to start? We have to combine queen h7, knight e7 and rook h1 somehow. Let's just start with the queen check. I can't make it work. I just can't make it work. Queen h7, king h7, rook h1, all the interpositions don't make sense. So there is basically only... I just can't make it work. Oh, it's about something else. It's not really Anastasia's mate. it's about a 2-knight mate. Yes, it's knight g6, threatening knight e7 with mate, or basically black has to give the queen, but also I'm threatening the queen on e5. So if knight g6, queen takes queen, then knight e7 is mate. I think that must be the solution. So it's pretty. Okay, so it's not really an Anastasia's mate. It's a little bit of a different theme. The problem is eliminated. Okay, well, it's this one because I need to do, I need to get rid of the defender of the b6 square, and now b6 is mate. Mate is on the way. So it's rook d8 check. If he goes to h7, it's rook h8 mate. If he goes to f7, it is rook f8 mate. So it's basically a mate in 2-1, 2. Okay, very nice. Double on the diagonal. Oh my gosh, there's 3 pieces unprotected on this long diagonal. So that's bishop d6. Fantastic fork. We're looking for a checkmate here, aren't we? b4 is supposed to be checkmate, but still there is the d5 escape square, and otherwise black is threatening to take on h3 with check. So the first move that comes to mind is queen takes queen, and then if he takes that with the pawn, I can go e4, but then he can create an escape square for his king. Oh, it's very simple, of course. I can just start with check myself, and then there is another check, and he can take that with the knight, but then there is a reserve pawn. I mean, sometimes it's so simple. Oh, this one looks like rook e4 somehow. If queen takes queen, rook e8 is mate. If rook takes rook, queen takes queen wins. If bishop takes rook, it's queen takes queen, and that wins as well. So are there any counter tricks there? I don't see them really. So this is very strong. Well, okay, he could try queen d8, for instance, but then of course queen g7 is checkmate. Double, excuse me, double threat. So the double threat here should be king c6, threatening the rook, and also rook e8 checkmate. This is famous from the Saavedra position, even though there at the end of the study it's a little bit different, but I think it should be this move. Okay, one very effective move. Just one? Just one? Yeah, bishop c4 check, allowing my queen to go to h7, which is more effective than a bishop going to h7. Yeah, that must be it. Bishop c4. Okay, next lesson. Well, maybe we could say these are beginner puzzles. Looks drawish? No, the knight is in the corner, and we can play knight a3 to protect the c2 square, and then the next move is bishop c3, picking up the knight. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, after bishop c3 the knight is doomed. Problem 624. White has 2 things in mind. Yes, he does, doesn't he? He wants to go queen h8 checkmate. And so if we go knight f5, he cannot take that because of that checkmate. But if he cannot take it, then he should also move the queen that is attacked. Now he cannot move it to e3 with check because the knight on f5 is protecting e3. That's beautiful. But the other thing the knight does when black's queen moves is take away the e7 escape square. In other words, knight f5 must be the winning move here. Yeah, threatening the queen and mate on h8. But there are more details to that than just that little comment. A little nudge here. Well, what could be a nudge? Okay, you want to play knight e7 check and win the queen, but we still have to eliminate the defender there, so that's the little nudge. We either win that knight on c6 or we fork. First look left, then look right. Well, that's very literal, isn't it? We can maybe fork, you know, play rook e5. And if he moves the bishop, we can take the knight. If he moves the knight, we can take the bishop. There is an in-between. No, there's not an in-between check because d1 is covered. Look left and look right, but why not look right first and then look left? Let's just go with this because I really don't see any counter of some sorts. Okay. Puzzles are getting a little bit easy. Almost Arabian. It's white to play. So what's not Arabian about this rook g8 check? He cannot take it, he cannot interpose, he can also not move. So it's just checkmate, right? So what's the problem? It's basically Arabian mate, yeah. White to play. Yeah, white to play. Again it looks like some sort of interpositioning. Yeah. We either want to take on e8, which is protected by the rook on e2, or we want to take on g7, which is protected by the bishop. So I think we're going to try bishop e5 here. Yeah, exactly, correct. Deflection, perfection. This is famous. Yeah, this is very famous. And now this move. And now we have the Röntgen protection of both queen and rook. Okay, one more time. I'll have to do the same thing. Yes, because bishop takes queen e8 is checkmate. Very nice. Okay. Arabian mate once again. Okay, that must be a very forcing check here, followed by the Arabian mate in 2. Deflection. White to play. That should be this move. I'm going too fast. I'm going too fast. Oh yeah, yes, because knight protects f8, so I have to deflect. My apologies, I have to deflect the knight towards the other side, and now this is also some sort of Arabian mate. I think that was my first mistake there. Problem 633. This unexpected move wins. Knight a5 is unexpected, right? The idea there is to take away the b7 escape square. So we're threatening both the queen and rook a8 mate. Now if the king takes, then he can no longer escape to b7 because he's on a5, and then rook a8 is checkmate. And of course the knight can also not be taken with the pawn because that pawn is pinned. We just take the rook. So knight a5, and then is there a counter attack? There is no counter check against white's king, so that one is very pretty indeed, very pretty indeed. Okay, thank you very much. Here we go. P5, get 9. I think that means you can sacrifice a rook in order to get a queen, something like that. Yeah. Okay, so we sacrifice this rook. It's just a discovered attack basically. Okay, that's really a beginner exercise, isn't it? Double threat puts black in a fix. Well, I think we can just play this one, hit h7 and h4, both are targets. Pins can be lethal. Okay, rook e1, thank you very much, here we go. Surprising stalemate. Well, then it has to be queen d1. And now if he takes queen d1, then none of white's pieces can move. They're all pinned or blocked or whatever. Pins can be lethal. Yes, they can. So in this case, it's the c7 pin and also the a7 pin. If the pawn would have taken, then queen a8 is made. But now here, of course, this just simply picks up the queen. White to play. We want to take the knight on d2, but it does not appear to be possible yet. So what am I missing here? Something simple. Rook d1 attacks the knight. Another idea is to go knight b4 or f4 to d3 to chase the rook, but then the rook can go to c2, but then we can go to d1. So that's another idea. But rook d1 is knight e4 still, yeah? I'm missing something simple here and my time is running down. What am I not seeing? I want to take the knight, but it's not yet possible, so I have to remove the rook. But rook b1 is bullshit. Rook d1 again. Let's take a look at rook d1. Knight e4. Can we continue to chase the knight there? f3. Well, I don't know. The knight has too many squares. That doesn't seem to work. Then I want to go knight b4, which blocks the rook completely. But then there's rook b1. Oh my dear. So then it has to be then it has to be knight c3. Knight c3 also covers the e4 square, but it also threatens knight a4, rook c2, king d1. Oh, quickly, let's just try that one. Incorrect. No. What? What? No way, Jose. Oh, okay. Gee. Okay. Well, I think they should have told me that white can still do that. Surely white has lost. No. It's the wrong bishop color. So we just eliminate the b pawn, and now the a pawn cannot promote if I keep my king in the corner there. Okay, this is important to know. A little bit of technique. A nasty pawn. Yeah, okay, here we go. And here we go. And we just win that piece. Very nice. Vacating a square. It's this one. Check, check, and mate. Okay. Identity crisis. Pin or deflection? I think we like rook g4, because if that rook gets taken, it's mate in 2. So let's just do that. Boom. Boom. Again, chasing away the defender, yeah, or eliminating the defender. One less escape square. Yeah, that should be f7. We somehow have to block f7. So it's check, the king cannot take. And now he's completely blocked, and this is checkmate, of course. Essential endgame knowledge. I think it's g6 here, yeah? Yeah, it's g6. And now we go here, we lure that pawn away, and now we can promote. Winning the exchange. Don't we like knight h6, which hits the unprotected queen on e7 and also the vulnerable rook on h7. If queen takes queen, we in between take on f7, winning the exchange after king g8, taking on h3 and f7. That's an exchange. If he moves the queen to another direction, we take the rook. But wait. Yeah, if he moves rook e7 by means of double defense, we exchange on e6, and still it's knight f7 check, and we pick up the other rook. Okay, so here we go. This is correct. Now the in-between check is important, and now we take here, right? Yeah, this is correct. Keep it simple. Okay, keep it simple. Here we go. Here we go. And with some technique, we should be able to win this. Another trapped queen. Seriously? So how would this queen be trapped? With some bishop? Some bishop c7 stuff, bishop e1 stuff. I'm confused here, because it also seems white has some chances against the king's side. But the hint says another trapped queen. Normally during a game you don't get any hints, of course. So it's questionable to use those hints, but wow. Knight c6? Knight c6 might be an idea. Knight c6, but there's something there that just doesn't click for me. Knight c6. Oh my gosh. But even if we put the bishop on c7, it's queen takes c7. We should somehow try and trap the queen in another way with knight c4. With knight c4, yes, we can win this tempo. Thank you very much. Oh, that was just barely in time. Why did I not see that? This is original. Ah, that's funny stuff. Bishop f8. King takes, queen h8 mate. Rook takes, knight e7 mate. And otherwise it's just queen takes, queen g7 mate. He does have an in-between check on c1. King h2, but queen h6 is not check because the bishop is on f8. Okay, that's very cute. That's very cute. Okay, checkmate. Here we go. Simple but crushing. Well, okay, this one. Yeah, we need to deflect that one, and then we go here. Very nice. It's otherwise I would have won the rook on a8. A Boden's mate in the making. They call it Boden's mate? So it's bishop a6 check, yeah? We can start like this. Oops. That was not forcing enough. I should look at the checks first. Come on, Waldemar. Come on. Come on. Such a beautiful puzzle. Screwed. White to play. If I play d5, the knight has to move, but then the king on e8 and the knight on e4 are vulnerable to a double attack. So let's try that. d5 and now this check. Very nice. Okay, closing a file. Closing a file. What can I do there? Knight e6 looks attractive. The idea is, of course, that you want to play queen e4 and then it's mate after f5. Queen takes f5. It's mate because the king is just completely cut off on the g file. And we might as well just do that with tempo, right? Knight e6 hits the rook on c7. So then we would have a double defense. Also quite nice to see that the knight on e4 is pinned. Is that indeed the best move? Yeah, if we play queen takes knight, it's queen takes queen with check. And then knight f8 check wouldn't work. Well, you know, we can also just play knight f8 check. Queen takes, but then queen takes e4 check. f5 is still a defense. So somehow it would seem that knight e6 is the best move, but we can also just do it the other way around. Since the knight on e4 is pinned, it's knight f6 check. The queen has to take, and then the queen is not on f8, but in front of the f-pawn. Then queen takes check. Yeah, and then queen g6 is just bollocks. Okay, so, but wait a second, knight f6 is bishop f6. So those checks appear not to be winning. So I'm going with knight e6 then. Yeah, he likes it. Okay, check. You see, you have to be so careful with all those tries. In this case, it was not a check leading to the solution. The rook is a bystander. Well, the king is threatening to escape via g6. So I think we have to start with bishop f5 check. Right? Then he has to go to yeah, this should be fine. He has to go into the corner, and now the mating move is knight f7. And there's absolutely nothing he can do. Or I have to be precise here. Yeah, because if he goes to h7, then it's g6 mate, sorry. Yeah, okay, blocking in the own king. Okay, that's, yeah, absolutely. Perpetual motion, white to play. Okay, this should be a draw. Okay, that's a well-known pattern. And of course we have to play like that because we're down a rook. Where to attack? Well, how can we make all of those pieces work together, huh? Some beautiful interference move on e7 or something, but we have to figure it out. Rook a7 is not forcing enough. So what is forcing? The rook on d8 is unprotected. The queen is unprotected. So rook queen e8. I can't really make it work. Calculate, just calculate quietly. Where to attack? Where to attack? My gosh, this one is difficult. Come on, you don't have time left. I need to free up somehow this d6 pawn because there should be a horrible check then. I don't really see it. Well, okay, it should be queen e7 then, because otherwise I cannot recapture with check, right? So check, and now we have to figure out the best move. Could it be rook a7 now? Yeah, because that is threatening a mate on a8, so he has to move the b pawn, but then we check on c7 and then we take on d8. That looks cool. Okay. Yes, I got this one. Barely in time, barely in time. Okay. Yeah. Rook e7, trying to enter on f7. If he takes up with the knight, it's queen takes bishop, king takes queen, rook d8 mate. If he takes it with the bishop, it's not allowed. Okay, that should be it. Okay, this is also a funny position. Vulnerable back rank. Yes, definitely on both sides, I suppose. So I can maybe also try and take the queen when my bishop is no longer pinned. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? I don't really see it. Rook a8 check. Is there... Queen a8 check is there, but how to begin? Somehow I don't see the idea of the combination. I don't see it. I need much more. Wait, b4 is also a move, yeah. I'm gonna play the wrong move here because I don't see it. I just don't see it. Well, we'll have to try something. Check. Incorrect, yeah. So this is the first one. Okay, let me start with this one then. Check. This is forced, yeah. I just don't see the idea. I still don't see the idea. Somehow, I'm drawing a complete blank here. No! 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 Oh my, I just simply completely missed the attack on F7. I didn't figure out where my targets were in the beginning. F7 was already 1 for 1, 1 attacker, 1 defender. That's target. Oh, that's so bad. Another loose piece drops off. Another piece loose drops off. Another loose piece drops off. Another one bites the dust. Well, then it should be the piece on e7, yeah? This is a well-known trick. Check. How shall we recapture like this, I think? Yeah, then I can get out, probably, and f7 is hanging, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I have to make another move. I just did that. I just made this move, right? Is this not the correct move? It's an alternative. They want me to play 92? Okay, never mind. That was the puzzle. 61 puzzles. A few more to go. The back rank beckons. Okay, Queen A7. Queen A7. Just shut your eyes and it's Queen A7. Boom. Boom. Closing a file. Oh yes, ladies and gentlemen. 92. Oh, I should have gone 94. So why is 92 is wrong? I don't know. This one, it makes... this is, of course, the idea. Well, let's continue. Smothered mate refresher. Okay, double check. Okay. The smothered mates. Keep your eye on G6. Yes, sir. Bishop F7. Bishop F7. If he takes the queen, it's knight G6 mate. If he takes the bishop, we pick up the queen with knight G6. So that's all nice and fine and dandy and so on. Check. Thank you. Okay. Crashing through. Well, that can mean any number of things, but we want to somehow check. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's the famous double bishop mate supported by the knight. Opening a diagonal. Then it has to be rook takes. Yeah. Rook takes, pawn takes, bishop e5, rook e8, bishop g7, check. Very nice. Okay. Removing an obstacle. I think it's queen h7 check. He has to take, and then again bishop h7 is just mate. Okay. Double attack. So there are some vulnerabilities. Where are the vulnerabilities? Well, there are two here, on h7 and on e8. Thank you very much. Losing material for a moment, just for a brief moment. Okay. So basically material is equal, even though, you know, as far as the pieces are concerned, of course, white has more pawns. It's 6 against 8. Knight c6 is nice. Yeah, okay, so we lose the queen, but we already get a rook in return, and after that we're threatening both rook d8 and the queen. So then we should be up material. So let's just start with this. It's fine. Rook. Yeah, okay. Nice, huh? Nice. Mating net. Mating net. Yeah. So the D file is for the rook. The F file is for the G pawn and the knight. And the D file squares are for pawn and king. So let me take away the d2 square, and then this should be checkmate. Thank you. Check and discovered attack. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, check. And then this just wins the queen. Unobstructed diagonal. Well, we don't want him to go to g7, do we? Yeah, so we have to check on g5 with the queen, because that would prevent the king from going to g7. So this is the idea. Yeah, this is correct. Here we go. Opportunities on a rank. So I'm looking at rook e6 in combination with... But how and why would that be winning? So b7 is a target, e6 is a target, d5 is a target after pawn moves to e4, f6 is weak as well. Opportunities on a rank, so that would suggest something horizontal. So I'm looking at e4. The knight would have to go somewhere, and then bishop h3 attacks that bishop, and then if the bishop moves, I can attack on f6. That's sort of nice, right? So after e4, I think it has to start with e4. Let's play that move first. Oh, that's maybe much more forcing. That's more forcing. Bishop takes knight, and now if you... Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was easier because he cannot take with the pawn because that pawn would be pinned, and now it's this. Ah, come on, Waldemar. Just a little bit nearer. Hey. Isn't it Larsen Oewe? Lasker Oewe, excuse me. Yeah, b4. And now that the bishop is in b4, we can create this double hit against the bishop and the knight. This must be Lasker Oewe. I remember this, Lasker Oewe. The right promotion. Yeah, okay, if we promote to a queen, it's rook d8 check, queen takes rook, and then it's a stalemate. So... yeah, we have to go here, take the rook, and then there's only one defense against this check, and now again it's the Saavedra theme. Yeah, threatening mate on a8. Beautiful and simple. Okay, again, this is just blocking the e7 escape square. Bishop standoff. Yeah, I understand. Rook e7 is made were it not for the bishop protecting e7. So we're going to try and lure the bishop away. And now we can just take this piece. Thank you very much. Exploiting the long diagonal. Okay, I think we need to keep the bishop on d5 because it pins the f file, so there will never be an f-pawn move to protect against a mate on g7, for instance. But on the other hand, we can also not go to e5 or d4 because there's a knight. So I think we should just eliminate the knight, and now this should be a killing move. One step ahead. Ah, okay. Let me try and prevent the promotion so that your king will come to a checking square, and now I promote with check. Removing an escape square. The only escape square is e8. So we can do that. Yeah, absolutely. And now d7 is blocked. Wait a second, am I going too fast here? This is mate, right? They say alternative. Okay, they want us to go here. Ah, okay. I didn't realize it was an alternative. Keeping the extra piece. So white has an extra piece, apparently. Yeah, so both bishop f4 and knight e5 are attacked. So what to do about that, huh? What to do about that? Wow, okay. How to keep the extra piece? Can the knight make some sort of a smart jump? Can we do something with c6? Don't necessarily see the idea. Do we have any checks? We don't have any checks. We have captures. Rook to b8. How does rook to b8 help? Let's say rook b8 and rook b8. Knight c6, queen takes c6. Well, maybe that's because the bishop on c7 is unprotected. So something with knight d7 is also quite nice. Knight d7. But I don't really see what happens after queen takes d7. I don't see what happens. But let's try it. It's not correct. No. What? So how come I don't see this move? Okay. If you take the knight, I take your bishop. In other words, you'll have to take the bishop. Okay. I didn't spot the knight f6 trick. Okay, well, in a moment we'll just see about our accuracy. I think it's still pretty high up in the 90s there. Fatal weakness on the back rank. This pins and wins. Just this. Okay. Black's pieces lack coordination and white is to play. So there is a mating square on b7, of course. So I think the idea is rook h8 check, but then he can still take that with the queen, right? He still takes that with the queen. Because otherwise, if rook f8, I think I would have played queen a6 winning. Rook h8 check. Ah, this is also beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, rook h8 is also made if there is no rook f8 possibility. So this should really seriously screw up black's coordination. Yeah, okay. Queen g6, very nice. Nothing could be simpler. La da da dee doo. Okay, so here we go. Push and push. Loose pieces drop off. So, oh, this one is famous. Yeah, it's this one. Here we go. This one is from a Bondarevsky Tactics Combinations book that I received as a present a long time ago. Okay, this one's also easy. This is just quite simple. Removing the defender. Wow, is there yet another defender? Yay, there's this defender. And then it's back rank mate. What was that about loose pieces? I don't know. Okay, it's this probably. And then this. Hoppatay, here we go. Discovery, white to play. So there's some sort of discovery, but e1, careful, e1. Yes, check. No, okay, not too fast, not too fast, not too fast. Not too fast. Because I'm only basically considering queen e7, bishop c6, which would win. But, okay, otherwise it's king g8, bishop h7. Yeah, so it does win. Show us the bishop c6 line. It's much more beautiful. Okay, pity. Overload, overload, overload. So who's overloaded where and when and why? Okay. So the bishop is pinned, so knight f6 check. The bishop can't take. If the rook takes, we win the queen, right? And if the king moves, it's just mate on h7. So the rook is overloaded here in this case. And of course the bishop is still on c8, so the queen is also not protected by rook a8. So yeah, black was lacking coordination there. First, a warm up. What's so warm about this? Let me just take here. Check. Maybe they want us to go there. Now that your motor is running. Okay, check. Motor is running. Motor is running. Elementary, my dear Watson. Yeah, okay, it's queen f2 checkmate. Nice, such a pawn on the 6th rank there. In one. Yeah, okay, this is checkmate. I'm getting there. Let's say 6 more puzzles. Equally quick. White has... Wait, no, it's black to play. Okay, black to play. Well, there is a check here. Okay, it's just a mate in 1. I don't expect mates in 1, right? More like 2 or 3 or something. Tightening the noose. It's black to play. Well, yeah, if we double on the 2nd rank, there is no threat against b2, so it must be this move. And now, this is funny, we can just go back. Yeah. Oh, he wants me to play the other rook, of course, it's an alternative. Okay, 4 more to go. A cornered king, black to play. It's good to know we know black to play, but this is just a simple lawnmower mode. Lawnmower mate. Gee, difficult word. Worth remembering. Black to play. And this is stalemate. Thank you very much. Okay, behind in development. Okay, well, boom. Mate in 1. Quiz. Black to play. Black wants to repeat. Does he? Okay, check. 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 Okay, guys, that was it. Problem 700. Accuracy 96%. Time studied 51 minutes 43 seconds. Experience gained. There are 2 numbers there. 7,710 stars plus 120. Okay, I'm not completely sure what that means. Pending reviews. Oh dear, I have so much more to do. Reviewed 198 moves in 99 variations. Well, guys, thanks for your attention. I think that was it. Maybe you were able to keep up with me or just simply solve those positions better and faster than me. Maybe it's good fun for you if you also compare your thoughts with my thoughts. They were, of course, not completely scientific, but then again, we're human, and the human mind, the mind's eye, first just tries to hit on some sort of an idea. You just let your intuition speak, and then if that doesn't work, you try and break down the position a little bit more systematically. And I think I failed on 2 or 3 occasions to do that. And most notably, I failed because I lacked the discipline to figure out where all my targets are. But we will talk about targets in another video sometime. Okay, cheers. See you next time. Bye.